rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fans on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was taught with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawn. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, I'll cast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in the place to be. What's good? It's your number one Chief Rock and Knicks Universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy, and welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Nighttime show, the Knicks at Night podcast. Salute, man. I have a great guest coming on tonight. You know him from the Bussin' Comics channel, Cause We Geeked. You know him from Glow Sign Productions. My main man is everywhere on the internet. It's crazy. Can't even buy shoes off Amazon without seeing my next guest. It's my, hey, and listen, y'all, this is not just a guest, right? It's just not another content creator. This is my damn friend, right? And when I want like advice on stuff, whether it's graphics or content or sports or whatever it is, man, I'll call him day or night, whatever. Sometimes I just call him out the blue to just randomly talk, and he just listen to me, man. Yo, y'all give it up for my main man, Rel. Rel, what's good, bro?
Much, man. Kind words, man. Brought a little tear to my eye. You know what I'm saying?
Look, Lawrence says late at night. You know what I'm
saying? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. I share the sentiment, man.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that, man. So, I wanted you to come on. I'm not going to front with you. I wanted to kind of chop it up with you to talk about Jason Kidd. And I didn't want to hold you too long. But from the time that I asked and now, man, a few things have happened. What I want to do is just get straight to the root of some things. I want to ask you a few questions. All of them are going to be easy because you have experience with it, with the same issue. Who was Jason Kidd as a coach?
Well, let's see. For one, he's definitely a stubborn SOB. He's a coach that's kind of set in his ways, but he's also a coach that let the players be the players. He's not a micromanager. He's not somebody that's going to hold your hand. He's a coach that's definitely going to let you be you. Okay. And if you're going to listen and take his advice, he going to give you the world, man. Like, but if you're not, he gonna definitely ostracize you. I'm gonna tell you that now. So, he definitely is one of those coaches where if he has his guy, like I said, he'll rock with you. If you're not one of his guys, you're gonna definitely tell from day one. Either he's gonna cut your minutes short or not play you at all. So, but other than that, man, I mean, he's one of those coaches. Let me go ahead and take some of my feelings out of my take here. He has gotten better as a coach. You can see it from when he first coached in Brooklyn to when he coached in Milwaukee to now, right? He has gotten better.
Right.
Are there things that he can still work on? Yes. But overall, I think he's a very solid. I think he is a top 10 coach in the league. Like if he's one of those coaches where if you got him on your side, you'll be fine type thing, right? The fact that he can elevate a team. You saw what he did this year with the team they had with all the injuries and all that stuff, the whole situation with the Luka trade and all that stuff. Right. He still kept that team together When you could take two-way players like a Brandon Williams or somebody like that and can make them into rotational players, guys who didn't make the roster on anybody else's team, but you can make them into rotational players, that says a lot about him as a coach.
Okay. Why would a championship level team be interested in Jason Kidd?
Because of what I said a minute ago. For one thing he can do, he can elevate. Like I said, the fact that you saw what he did with the injuries, he's definitely, like I said, an upper echelon coach. So if you feel like, you need that coach, listen, teams like y'all, I can't really think of any other teams right now. Boston or whatever, right? Say Boston looking for a team too, right? Oh, for a coach. Teams like that, I think you would be happy having a coach like a Jason Kidd, right? You feel like you kind of took that next step as far as a coach. Because to me, I think he's better than Tibbs. I mean, because I know Tibbs kind of like running guys into the ground and all that stuff. He likes pouring a lot of minutes into his starters and all that type of stuff. Right. Kidd's a little bit more balanced on that. Like I said, I think like I said, the only negative with Kidd that I had is the fact that he does have favoritism sometimes. But if you one of his favorites, he's gonna ride or die with you. But the one thing I will say though, Freezy, when you talk about a championship type team, Kidd does elevate his coaching in the playoffs.
That's what I was going to ask. That was the basis of the question. That was the basis on the question. The fact that certain coaches.
One thing before you finish, you're going to I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to get a lot of headaches in the regular season. I'm going to tell you that right now with Jason Kidd. You are going to get a lot of headaches. Okay, it's not going to look pretty in the regular season, but I'm guaranteeing you when he gets to the playoffs, he's not the issue. I'll gladly say that he's not the issue when it comes to the playoffs. But regular season, you're going to get headaches. I'm gonna tell you that now.
Man, do I see Jordan 11s in the background, bro?
My favorite ones, man. The greatest silhouette of all time, bro.
Hey, we got to have a sneaker conversation. You may not be a sneakerhead, bro, but I'm gonna tell you what. certain conversations I can just, bro. I will, bro. There have been times I have put off the bathroom, jumping up and down, knowing I got to go to the bathroom, when I'm talking about sneakers. You know what I'm saying? Bro, late for church. Talk about sneakers, bro. But anyways, one of the other reasons why I'm excited about having Rel on and wanted to have him here is because just a couple of years ago we were having conversations about teams that were on the upswing, and at that time our main man Demond was with us, and we were talking about how the Knicks were maybe at a plateau and the Hawks and the Mavs were on the way somewhere. And it just shows in a matter of time how if you don't take advantage of a thing, or if there's one misstep by management, it could all fall down, right? What is the downside of a Knicks Jason Kidd hiring, if there's any?
I don't, like I said, the only negative, like I said, the only negative I can think of is Kidd is very stubborn in certain ways.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you too, like with him, you got, like I said, if the player is not on board with his way or whatever, then it's gonna probably be bumping heads and stuff like that. Like I gotta use an example, with the whole Christian Wood thing. Christian Wood wasn't one of his guys,
right?
So he kind of treated him a certain way. Quentin Grimes, we saw how he treated Quentin Grimes. When we actually needed him in games, he cut his minutes down to like 15 minutes. But then, when he did start getting them significant minutes, he was a huge plus for us, right?
Right.
And so that's why I say, like with him, like he's gonna. And the one thing I will say, so for example, Tim Hardaway, right? I had Tim Hardaway Jr. You know how much of a headache he is.
Yeah.
Played that man to death in the regular season. We was scratching our heads, wondering why. You see, he's out here. He's a negative. He's a hindrance on the court. He's hurting the team more than he's helping, right? But when it came to the playoffs, all that stopped. He went from playing a few minutes in the first round to he wasn't playing anymore at all. Like if you blowing somebody out, then you put him in or whatever in the game or something like that. But Other than that, like like I said, man, Kid's a good coach, bro. I'm not gonna sit here and hate on the dude. Like, if you go on Mad Twitter, they'll tell you different or whatever, right? But I like to be real, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, be realistic. Like, I try to take my feelings out of a lot of the stuff that I see. And so, like, that's why I say, like, with Kid, he's a good coach. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he'll be a good fit for y'all. I think he'll be a good fit for y'all. Brunson played with him. Brunson credits him for him taking that next level and next step as far as, being the player that he is today. So, like, you kind of have that there. He's been in New York before. He played for y'all, and he also coached over in Brooklyn. So, like I said, I can see that being a good fit. And then on top of that, man, listen, I know it's a different type of pressure in New York, right? But here in Dallas, bro, it's a whole lot more distractions than it would be in New York. Like, with New York, it's going to be, hey, are you contributing to wins? Which is understandable, right? It's for any team. You want to win games. So if you're not winning, we're going to question you, right? That's normal. But this is different over here, man, especially after the trade. You still got folks bringing up the Luka trade, right? You saw Don Nelson rocking the Lucas to his ceremony he just had the other day.
Right.
We saw I forgot something. I was just watching something today, and somebody else had mentioned something. It was another celebrity or something, or ex-player or whatever, brought it back up. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't want that distraction, bro, and constantly being berated with those questions. You got the players, that's constantly what they're hearing 24/7. The crowd is booing, fire Nico or whatever, bro. You kind of constantly have that type of stuff. Like, you want to focus on basketball, and you constantly got that in the back of your mind, right? And especially if Cooper Flag doesn't come out and be super like Larry Bird right now, you know how folks are, bro. Like, we live in a microwave.
He's that, bro.
Like, if he don't, if he I forgot Duke guy.
Just, hey.
But if he don't come,
okay. Yeah, the Mavericks are so fortunate, bro.
Bro, are they fortunate, Freezy?
Yes.
No, I mean, are they fortunate?
Yeah, well, Dallas is known for conspiracy.
The NBA is known for conspiracy.
Well, that too.
But but like I said, bro, I think it'll be a good fit, man. I think it'll be a good fit. Like I said, I know how Knicks fans are, bro. I know how passionate they are about the team and all that, and the coach and stuff like that. Because I know Knicks fans was cooking Tom Thibodeau.
Right.
But listen, I'm telling you now, trust me, I've been covering the dude for 5 years now. If you're going to get headaches during the regular season, I'm guaranteeing y'all are going to get headaches in the regular season. But what y'all are focusing on is the playoffs and beyond. That's what y'all are focusing on. And Kid can take care of y'all in the playoffs. Kid is not the issue in the playoffs. Kid's probably one of the best adjusters when it comes to the playoffs in the league as a coach. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said, like, I think in that case, y'all are good. Because, well, it's kind of the opposite of Tibbs, right? Y'all was good in the regular season, right? Top 2 or whatever, top 3 in the East and all that stuff. One of the top 4 teams in the West. I mean, in the league or whatever. But then, what was your issue? It was in the playoffs, right? How your rotations are, who's getting more minutes, the substitutions, all that type of stuff. Your starters playing just boatloads of minutes or whatever. You're not utilizing your bench or whatever the case is, right? Kids the opposite. You're gonna have the headaches in the regular season. Just get through the regular season. You get your little headaches out the way. Playoffs, just sit back and relax and just get your popcorn ready, man.
2 questions. One is, how did you endure the honeymoon period with Jason Kidd? And secondly, just want to have this be on the back burner while you formulate your thought on that question, right? Like, so how did you endure the honeymoon period with Jason Kidd? And then the second question is, if we have time to get to it, is how is Jason Kidd as a coach without having a megastar on his roster? It's an interesting thing. I've watched Jason Kidd. I have League Pass. Me and Dre, we watched the Mavs on League Pass, right? But the first thing is, how do you get past what some would consider odd behavior in the beginning, like Christian Wood and JaVale McGee? Like, how do you get past that as a fan watching your coach with certain things like that?
So let me ask you a question. If, let's say, this is all speculation, by the way, we all know that. Let's say y'all do get Kidd. Are y'all giving him some type of authority or some type of power if y'all pick him up? Because I'm gonna tell you right now,
Absolutely.
Okay, so then you should be fine. The thing is, I think when Kid doesn't have a say in some of the roster situations, I think that's when you kind of see him being a little bit stubborn, a little pig-headed and all that stuff and kind of just doing his own thing or whatever, right? So that's why I said, like, it's really going to depend. Because for us, our honeymoon phase, we got to the West Conference Finals with him in his honeymoon phase, right?
Right.
So that's why I said, like, it was easy for us in that sense. Like, if the years had flipped, we had that second year, his first year, it probably been a different situation. Because to be honest with you, originally I didn't want Jason Kidd. I wanted Jamal Mosley. I was
right.
on
because the organic relationship with Luka.
Yes. Right. And so, and plus it was a fresh voice. Somebody he's never had that situation. He's been a long time assistant coach. He has good rapport around the league, not just on our team, around the league, right?
Right.
So I figured, like I said, and plus you got that connection with your superstars, what you want, right? So I that's why I kind of wanted Jamal Mosley, but
great. That's a great coaching mind, by the way. But
I like Jamal Mosley, bro. I like Jamal Mosley. But what was that second question? What was the second one again?
How great of a coach is Jason Kidd without a megastar?
Oh, okay. What do you consider Anthony Davis?
A superstar, Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Okay.
Perennial all-star, franchise player. I don't think he's in the class with Luka, though.
No, I don't think so either. So then in that case, then he did pretty well, barring the injuries and everything, right? Because of course y'all got the Mavs old training guy. Shout out to Casey Smith, man.
Yeah,
getting the guy fired. But anyway, y'all literally got the best training staff in the league, bro.
Right.
Shouldn't have got the dude, but anyway, they so for him, he did elevate that team. I think injuries kind of hurt the team or whatever. Like I said, you saw what's the boy name? Kessler Edwards.
Yep.
You saw Kai Jones.
Yeah.
Brandon Williams. You saw them guys step up when those other people
Max
were hurt.
Christie a little bit.
So yeah, Max Christie. I mean, he looked good like the first 6 games where he was averaging like 16, 17, 15 to 16 points or whatever, and he just kind of reverted back to L.A. Max Christie. But
right.
I think the next year is going to tell what he's going to be, because I had folks telling us, man, when we were still covering him. Folks were telling us, Max Christie's the new, he's gonna make you forget Luka and all that sort of stuff. Like, bro, I just calm down.
Oh my God, man, relax, bro.
It do averaging like 16 points or whatever, bro, and like 16 games, bro, and everybody was already ready to crown him. And then you know how fans are. As soon as he had them first couple games, and everybody, trade him, get him off my team, bro. Y'all were just crowning this dude the next Jesus, bro. Now all of a sudden, now you want to trade him, right?
They had Max Christie on their necklaces, and now all of a sudden they're going to get him out of town. So.
Exactly, bro. So. Yeah, like I said, he's a good coach, bro. He's a good coach.
Okay, so this is. I wanted to ask you another thing. It's going to lead into just something real quick. So we don't know if the Knicks and the Mavericks are going to talk based on a contentious franchise front office relationship that's probably much ado about nothing. But
that was an old though, Crazy. That was the old front office. You got a whole new front office over here. You might be able to. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I understand. That's one of the things that I wanted to speak to you about. Just how do you view the relationship between the Knicks and Mavericks, and is there an opportunity for the Knicks to work something out with the Mavs where Jason Kidd can land in the play? Because the thing is, we don't know if Jason Kidd even is even thinking about the job. This is New York driven stuff. We hadn't heard anything from Kidd's camp yet.
So we got guys here in Dallas who are tied into the Mavs, and like got the Mark Steins of the world, the Tim McMahons of the world, the Grant F-Sefs of the world. And a lot of them were saying that they're hearing there's some mutual interest between the two parties, bro. This the thing too. because I think I'm hearing something about like, of course, you could trade for coaches or whatever because Kid got traded.
Kid's
As
been
a
traded
coach
already. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like y'all giving a pick, I could see something like that happening because Dallas is the private picks for obvious reasons. So we not going to have a lot of picks between. I mean, they're not going to have a lot of picks between 2027 and like 2030 or whatever, right? So that's 4 years. So I think that if you're talking about trying to build around Cooper Flag, you want to when you have a person like that and you want to build around that person, you want to accumulate. Right, you want to accumulate those
That
picks,
man's
right?
the Italian stallion. Just go get some bums from the mall, bro.
Here we go, bro.
Cooper Flag legit is gonna be a mix between Jason Tatum and whatever 3-point shooter that's 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". Jason Tatum.
Bro, just go ahead and say he's gonna be deadlift shrimp, bro. That's all you gotta say, bro.
Yeah, well, hey man, this dude is gonna be the one thing I'll say, and I try, this is the Jason Kidd conversation, so I get it, but the one thing about this kid Cooper Flag is one thing. Look at the pedigree, right? Cooper Flag is a Duke University wingman, and when you look at the wingmen that have been drafted out of Duke, just look at even Paolo Banchero played on the wing with Duke. He played some 4, some 5 at Duke, mostly 4. Right, your Brandon Ingrams, your Shane Battiers, your Grant Hills, your Gary Smith Jr., your RJ Barrett.
Shane Battier, man.
Yeah, hey man, man. This dude is legitimately gonna be. And this dude is I'm not gonna. Well, everybody can't be the future of NBA basketball, but what I will say is, if you have a Wemby or a Cooper Flag right now, you are in great hands for that next up generation behind Anthony Edwards, right? And so the enticing thing to Jason Kidd is, do you stay in Dallas and develop a guy, a moldable piece of clay, into a megastar, or do you chase a ring outright in New York? Now, I'm not saying that the Mavs can't win a ring. That's not the conversation. What I'm basing it on is how both teams finished this season. That's it, right? Nobody knows what the future looks like. So
to piggyback off what you just said, that is also an enticing reason why I could see him wanting to go to New York. Look at the situation right now in the East. Tatum is hurt, right? Boston's going to be losing some players over the offseason because of the whole, their cap situation.
Yeah.
Cleveland is Cleveland. Miami started to kind of fall off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? Who else? I'm gonna say somebody else. Indiana's probably a threat. We got to see how that goes for next year. I think they're not unbeatable, of course. Milwaukee, we saw Dame Lillard gonna be out pretty much all the season next year. You know what I'm saying? Giannis is thinking about leaving. So right now, it's like right for the taking right now for y'all. Y'all can be the number one seed. It could be an easier path to the championship and winning the championship through New York than it is over here in the West.
Right. So what does Jason Kidd prefer is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's going like it's one of them cases like, how you coming down to a decision, right? Like say it's a job or something, right? Or this is a job. You like my wife would do, like say I'm trying to pick between something, she would tell me to, get a piece of paper, write down the pros and the cons. This is the case right here where a kid would literally have to sit down. Because listen, I've heard multiple people, different shows, Twitter, whatever, saying kid should go to New York, or our kid should stay in Dallas because of this or whatever, right? It's gonna take Jason Kidd literally block the noise, sit down, get a piece of paper, and do the pros and the cons of like pros and cons of New York, pros and cons of Dallas, right? And so, like I said, to me, one of the pros is I think it'll be an easier path, a quicker path to the finals in the East. Because I don't know if you remember last like 3 champions or last 3 teams to go to the finals were teams in the East, were teams that didn't make it to the finals that previous year. Like it was in the Eastern Conference Finals and didn't make it to that finals that same year. So that next year they made it to the finals.
Right.
So now if that's the case, if it stays on that path, it's y'all's turn to go to the finals next year. And I think if you ask a lot of Knicks fans, a lot of them believe that coaching was the issue, right?
The coach was the issue. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So you get your coach, and I'm telling you, kid's going to be a good coach for y'all, bro. He could be a good coach for y'all. Like I said, just the regular season, ignore the regular season. You're gonna be mad during the regular season. Just temper your expectation during the regular season, your blood pressure and all that. I mean, like I said, even with what's going on in the East, even with the regular season, y'all should get number one in the East, bro. Like, I don't see, like I said, with all the stuff that's going to be happening this year, as far as next year or whatever, with the injuries and teams going to be changing up because of roster and all that stuff, and salary and all that. Like I said, I think Kid can be that coach that can finally get y'all to where y'all trying to get to, bro.
What would it take from the Knicks to get Kid? 2 first round pick or 2, right?
Probably. I think I heard it first.
The Mavs would give up Jason Kidd for a first round pick from a championship contender, a pick 27, 28, 29, 30 is what I'm hearing. So,
like I said, you got Cooper Flag, right? Remember that their whole mindset was you only got this little 3-year window. You failed one of the years, now you're down to 2, right?
Right.
So when the draft popped up and you end up getting the first overall pick, that changes your whole outlook now. The general manager, the assistant general manager even said, hey, we went from being a 3-year window now to like a 10-year window, whatever it was he said, right? Because now you got Cooper, right? So now what you do, your whole mind frame changing now. And like I said a minute ago, if you're going to build it around Cooper, you have to accumulate assets. Right now, you don't have assets for the next 4 years after 27 to 30, right? So now that's why you're hearing a lot of Gafford trades, PJ Washington trades, right? Because now you're having to kind of you have to shed some of that. Matter of fact, they're over the second threshold. So Dallas had to shed salary, and while doing that, you're gonna shed some of your key players in your rotation, right? Like the PJ Washingtons and the Gaffords, because those 2 guys' contracts are gonna be up here pretty soon. I think next year, matter of fact, right? This is their contract years. So what you want to do is they're probably gonna have to trade them guys, accumulate some assets, and start building it now. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna build around Kyrie, who's probably gonna be missing 3/4 of the season. Anthony Davis. Do I need to say anything else? Klay Thompson, 36. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got this huge gap. You got this 18-year-old that's your future. Then you're way down here. You got the older guys who would probably be part of your main core or whatever. So that's why I said, like, if it really gets to that point and you're trying to accumulate assets, you might, if you talk about giving up first, something that we don't have. If you go talk about trading anywhere between 27 and 30, giving them a first round pick, I think they'll take it.
Yeah, the Mavs do have Derek Lively too, who I think. What school did Derek Lively go to? Oh, yeah, of course, Duke, of course.
North Carolina.
Yeah, So in Dallas's case, and I don't want to predict their future because the future of NBA franchises is unpredictable, and they could change just like that. Yep. Right? As Boston, as Dallas.
You know, it's funny you said that. Yeah, it's great. 2 great examples. It's funny you said that because King was talking about that on the show yesterday on the Kappa Crown show, and he kind of mentioned that.
Salute to the Kappa Crown show.
We don't have back-to-back, like not champions, but repeat guys going to the finals. You think about that. Like, what's the last time you've seen a team go multiple times to the finals back-to-back or whatever, right? Like, not 3 or 4 times in a row, just back-to-back. Like, I went last year and I'm going again this year. When's the last time you seen that? Not saying win it, just to go. Exactly.
There's Golden State, right?
Golden State in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Those are the last 2 teams that actually went 2 times in a row. Not saying I know they went more than that, but I'm just saying like at least 2 times in a row. You haven't seen that in forever. So like you said, you gotta, especially now the way the cap is, it's not like how it used to be, man. Not saying you bought your teams or whatever, but you have to construct your teams a little bit better. You have to take the draft a whole lot more serious because of how the salary cap is. You now have penalties that can hurt you from getting assets. Like I said, second threshold. The Mavericks are now over the second threshold. And so now you have to definitely play a whole lot more attention to the draft. Like this NFL, right? The NFL got so many players and they got to fit all those players within this little cap. So that's why they take the draft a whole lot more serious in that sport. Now you got to do that in the NBA now. Because you can't do it in the NBA, Yeah, because you can't have a $30 million guy. I think you're going to have 2 other $30 million guys. If you do, you're going to be sitting over the second threshold, and you can't get anybody else. If you do trade with somebody, it's got to be a 1-for-1 or whatever. And so, I mean, it's crazy, man. I don't know a lot about the kid. I tell folks all the time, I haven't really been into college basketball like that, like I used to.
Right.
So a lot of times, I still watch the draft like a religion. I love the draft. So a lot of times when we talk about the draft, I let somebody let me know, like, man, look at this kid, blah blah blah. Check him out, okay? So I'll check out some. I know some people who do the scouting and stuff like that, do the tape, let you know what the strengths and weaknesses and all that stuff is. So I check that type of stuff out and kind of get an idea. Then I go to summer league, watch them. I know summer league is not the end all be all, but it kind of gives you an idea of like what they can do, what they can bring to the table, whatever. So that's kind of how I look at it. So when you sit, I know you're a little biased because you're a Duke fan, but still, like, I hear people like you telling me about the kid. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say he's trash or he ain't gonna be good because I didn't watch him. So I'm it's not fair to say that, that I'd be hating. So I just try to wait. I take what y'all say, and I wait and go watch. Maybe say, like I said, the summer league or something like that, man. See what they're talking about.
Yeah, he's got a veteran basketball IQ.
That's what I heard.
Right.
The kid's smart.
Yeah, he's got a veteran basketball IQ and things of that. So that's what I think that's the thing that I'm trying to figure out. If you're Jason Kidd, why would you leave?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And the thing I say is about the Jason Kidd decision. If he chooses to have interest, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying Jason Kidd is committed to the Knicks. What I'm saying is, in his decision-making process, how much does money factor into the decision, knowing New York is one of the most expensive places to live and they tax you for breathing air?
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
And Dallas is an expensive place to live, but it doesn't tax you to the grave, right? So there's a significant difference. And I've lived in Texas. I lived in Texas for 2.5 years, right? Mm-hmm. I know Texas is expensive, but they don't tax you to death for everything, right? New York. So basically what I'm getting at is Jason Kidd has a very nice contract with the Mavs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can New York offer him a contract that's anything close to what he gets in net in New York, plus all of the things that goes along with why he would take that Knicks job?
So you're saying like, can New York compensate for what he would have
yeah, is it worth it financially?
Compared to, like, listen, that's part of that list I was talking about. He gotta sit down and take that and write it down. Like, what are the pros and what are the cons? That, especially with New York, that is definitely one of the cons. It's the state income tax or whatever. But like I said, I don't. He done it before because when he was coaching the Brooklyn Nets. So I can't. I don't know what his temperament is when it comes to that type of stuff with the money. I think
he
as
didn't
far
have
as like
Dallas Mavericks money when he coached Brooklyn, no.
No, he didn't. That was his first gig. I know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. What are you looking at as far? What do you think he would command if he came to y'all?
Highest paid coach in the NBA.
Mm-hmm. It's 12
by far. Yep. Just whatever Spoelstra makes right now in Florida, he'll probably want to make $2-3 million a year more than that, right?
Wow.
Just to cover the taxes, and just to buy a home in Westchester versus buying a home outside Dallas or Coral Gate, wherever Spoelstra lives in Miami, right? Front office say that's guaranteed though, because Leon Rose legitimately gave Tom Thibodeau just about everything he wanted after every season. Every season there was a failure, Leon Rose went out and tried to fix the failure after every season. It's the reason why the roster turned over so much. From, you remember the time when me and you went, remember when we were talking to Demond in the early stages, and we had guys like Reggie Bullock on the roster here, right? And so you go from that to Mitchell Robinson maybe being your sixth best or fifth best player, fourth best player. And Mitchell Robinson probably on any team should be somebody's second or third best player. Here, he's probably the fourth best player behind Jalen Brunson, Cat, OG most nights, some Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart some nights. Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Somebody in the comments says that he said he make 15 a year. That's right. I remember. I knew it was double digits. I couldn't remember what it was.
Well,
15 a year, bro.
Yep.
Jesus, man. I could see kid maybe like 10 or 9 or something like that. I mean, that's a lot, man. 15. Oof.
Is Dolan, bro? Cut the check.
Yes. I was about to say something on what you said. I can't remember what it was.
The money. What would it take for Jason Kidd to get here? The money has to be crazy. It's got to be crazy New York money, right? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's a part of it. What you just said with the power. If you telling me y'all gave Tibbs that much power, Kid gonna take that. Kid will take that, bro. I'm telling you.
Right. That's the enticing part.
Yes. What drove him what drove him away from Brooklyn? It did, but motivated him in Milwaukee.
Roster.
Exactly. The idea of you being able to have say in your roster, because listen, there's been Tim McMahon, he reported this. There have been whispers that Kid, which if you seen the press conference, the very first press conference, Kid didn't look happy after the trade, bro. When they traded Luka, bro, he did not look happy.
Right.
And so now that's starting to come out now, which is why it might be one of the reasons why you're hearing those rumors about him going to New York, coming to you guys or whatever, right? Because he was not happy about that move. Because like Nico can spin it in the way he wants. You can look at the man's face on that press conference. He looked a little agitated, like, bro, I don't believe this, right? Like the team was heading in the upward direction. All they needed to do was just get healthy. That's all we needed to do was just get healthy, and then you just completely cut the legs off.
Man, the Mavs got Cooper Flag, bro.
So, let me ask you a question about Cooper Flag, bro. Is Cooper Flag do you see Cooper Flag being a true number one option?
I think Cooper Flag is, first of all, yes.
Okay.
Right? Because at 17 years old, he was creating his own shots against the NBA team that lost, that Jalen Brunson was the point guard of. Remember that team that was losing games in the FIBA Cup? Cooper Flag was in that U18 team that was giving that team buckets. That's how he went from just being the number one overall pick to like maybe being a generational type pick. Right? This dude legit is out there giving them buckets. Right? They can't stop him. And his defense is, I would venture to say that his defense is probably going to be, his defense is going to be, I don't want to say Pippen. I'll say Derek McKee. It'll be Derek McKee-esque from day one.
Oh, man.
For those that don't know who Derek McKee is, he was the
Indiana.
The Seattle, Indiana small forward that guarded everybody from 1 through 4 back when we didn't know what that really meant, but he was
like he was like 6'8", 6'9".
6, yeah. So he won't be that from day one. Who knows what his defense will be like in 3 years? We don't know, because it depends on the archetype he is. Does he bulk up? Does he stay slim? You know, you don't know what type of development path he'll take. But I'll say this, from day one, he'll offer up at least Mikal Bridges type defense from day one. Easy. Okay. Easy.
Because I'm hearing generational defense, bro. They call him Kawhi coming out the draft. Kawhi now.
Hey, yeah, I'm not going that far. I'm not going that far. I would say maybe year 2 Kawhi. Maybe year 3 Kawhi, but not the claw.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm hearing the claw 2014 in the finals against LeBron.
Yeah, well, but that's because Mavs are dreamers, bro.
Bro, I just about to say I am hearing it from the fans. So I mean, you know, of course, anybody you get is gonna be the next best thing since sliced bread. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, look, man, like I said, I don't really know. I only know about what, like I said, the little clip we saw, a little 3 shots he hit against the Olympic team. And then, you know, you see some like little highlights or whatever. You know, people always show the good stuff in the highlights, which is why I think it's more important to watch the games to get more of a broader understanding. That's why I say I'm gonna have to wait. Because listen, when folks were telling me about Derek Lively, I told folks I'd never seen the kid. I know of him, but I never really seen him like that.
Right.
And day one summer league, I was like, yo, hold on. What's this? Like, okay, you know what?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on.
League, I didn't say preseason or regular season. I said day one summer league. I said, hold on. Okay, hold on. I like this kid here, man.
I gotta rewind the tape because somebody on this panel told you about Derek Lively from the beginning.
No, you did. Like I said, you and it was a few other the Glow Yard was telling us about him, and they you know at the time we needed a center, and so it was like, yo, it's already rumors that Dallas is going after Lively and all that stuff, and I was like, I mean, okay, I guess because people kept comparing like you know how it is, bro. They comparing him to Tyson Chandler, but then I heard a few people comparing them to Willie Cauley-Stein, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, no, his motor better and all that. I was like, okay, well, let me see for myself. I'm gonna take what y'all saying or whatever. I mean, let me see for myself or whatever. But then, like I said, that first summer league game. Remember, me and King went on the post game after that first summer league game. Was like, you know what? I'm sold. Yeah. He showed me enough, man. He showed me enough. Right. We would have went undefeated in summer league. Something happened with the contracts. The trades didn't go. Remember, we traded for both of them, him and Omax. The trades didn't go through before a certain deadline. So they end up only playing, I think, like half a game or something.
Yeah,
or something like that. So we would end up going like 4-1 in the summer league.
Yeah, the official league, thing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, because I remember I remember them only playing like one half. But man, when they both played in that one half, though, I was like, yo, if we were sitting there saying like, bro, they played the whole game, he would have won. That's how much of an impact they were. You know what I'm saying? And so, but yeah,
right. So. One other thing I have to ask. Does a Jason Kidd flirt with the Knicks impact what Dallas does in the future? Say if he flirts with the Knicks and doesn't go.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Listen, man, Nico and them move on the beat of their own drum, bro. It's to the point I don't even know what the front office is thinking anymore, man, because they do stuff, man. It's just like so unpredictable now. You used to be able to have a feeling what he, how he thinks and the kind of players he go after, what kind of moves he will make. You know what I'm saying? Now, like I said, after that one trade, bro, even two, I always add in. I know we always add in the Quentin Grimes trade too, because they end up accumulating. Like you lost picks, or should I say, you didn't gain any picks in the Luka trade, but one, right?
Right.
Then on top of that, you gave away a pick with Quentin Grimes for a player who's older and hurt. So that's why. And then on top of that cost you being over the first threshold, and then by the end of the year, you end up being over the second threshold. So now you don't have a championship team, but yet you're over the second threshold. That's not a good thing. So. We can say.
Yeah, I was gonna just mention really quick. I think the Mavs have a plan, and I like to call it scorched earth, right? And I'm not saying this as somebody that wants to be the GM of somebody else's team, but you and I had the conversation when our man's Damon got the #1 pick. Remember that? We were like, "Yo,
I remember.
Don't get the #1 pick." And bring him in to be a role player. You remember them conversations? Yeah. And the mom was like, "Nah, man, we might bring him off the bench, Nah, dog, you don't draft #1.
You don't draft no #1s off the bench like that. This ain't 1978, bro.
Yeah, nah. Cooper Flag on draft, man, the cameras are gonna be so much on Cooper Flag that people are gonna forget that y'all have Anthony Davis. And to be honest with you, my belief, my belief, since I heard the trade, was if Anthony Davis is not in Chicago by the end of draft night, then somebody fell asleep at the wheel, because that's who Chicago wants. They have draft picks. They have young players, right? They can give y'all the salaries that will come off the books in a year for y'all to reset. And by that time, you can have Kyrie being the leader of a bunch of young dudes eager to learn and develop. Now, I don't know if Kyrie is that leader. I don't live in Dallas. I don't know if Kyrie Irving is that type of leader, right? I do know he's one of the greatest point guards to ever play, right? I do know he's super skilled and his work ethic is crazy. And if you want young guys to be around a certain type player, legendary, work ethic, champion, teacher, then why not have it be Kyrie leading the young kids until they can take over and supplant him as he ages and gets older, right? Anthony Davis, on the other hand, he don't have any roots in that. He ain't done nothing in Dallas, dog. This is Anthony Davis's third team, right? This is his third
13.
Yeah,
I think
13.
13. Hold on.
Like, yeah, kind of in that.
Yeah.
And he's never been the alpha. And when you expect him to be the alpha over odd mixtures of guys that are missing their key components, what do you really have? You know what I'm saying? So
listen,
I mean,
so like I said, we don't really.
And I know you capping Crown. I know you capping Crown now.
No. Hey, listen, we get these on the members only shows, so we still got a ton of Mad fans that follow us. So we get these type of conversations and questions all the time. This is my thing, bro. When Dallas ended up getting that number 1 pick, of course, being Cooper Flag, the first thing we heard people say is like, how's it going to work? You got too many bigs, right? Which is crazy. Dallas has too many bigs. I've just never thought I would hear that in my life.
3 years ago, you were saying the opposite?
I'm saying I've been saying the opposite about 30 years, bro. It's crazy.
Right.
So then we started hearing rumblings. I remember the first thing people started throwing out, they're going to trade PJ Washington, right? You heard them talk about the rumor, could Dallas trade their pick for Giannis or whatever, right? People was like, if they trade for Giannis, even if they did trade for Giannis or they didn't, they're going to trade PJ Washington, right? And I kept telling folks, if you want to completely start over, you want to accumulate as much assets as you can get more of it from AD. He has a bigger contract. You can get rid of that bigger contract. He has more value than PJ Washington. Like you just said, a team like a Chicago, a team like a
Chicago will overpay for Anthony Davis right now.
Team like that will overpay. A championship team would feel like he could be that piece that helped them get over the hump. So I feel like he has more value, right? PJ's a little bit cheaper, but thing is, PJ's coming up on his contract, so you're gonna have to pay PJ. But for now, I still think even if you got to pay PJ, he's still gonna be cheaper than Anthony Davis, right?
Right.
So that's why I was telling folks what they should do. I would keep PJ. He's a very good starting. He's a starting power forward for a team that went to the finals. Keep PJ and you trade Anthony Davis. PJ's younger. PJ fits more in the timeline with Cooper Flag, right? Because if you trade PJ, you're getting older because you're keeping Anthony Davis and you're trading away youth. PJ's like 26, so you keep him with a Cooper Flag. They could be interchangeable wings. Both can play the 4 and the 3, right?
Yeah.
So with Anthony Davis, he plays strictly the 4.
Right.
Cries and whines about playing the 5, which is why we play Gafford and Lively so many minutes or whatever, right? Because you don't want him to play in the 5 or whatever.
Because he gets hurt playing the 5. That's why.
Yeah, he gets hurt playing the 5. And so that's why I said, like, you have more interchangeable wings if you play with a PJ and a Cooper Flag instead of a Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis. It looked good on paper if you say Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis, but just like roster construction wise, I think it'd be better, bro, if you had Cooper Flag and you had PJ Washington instead of Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis. Because like I said, you can get more for him right now if you trade Anthony Davis.
Right. Yeah, and Chicago has, man, y'all could be out there with. The thing is I read the Chicago Bulls Reddits, right? And
stay off of Reddit.
We'll give y'all Michael Jordan trophy from out front for Anthony Davis, right? For some
remember they've been trying to get Anthony Davis in Chicago forever.
Yeah, for some reason Chicago Bulls Reddit loves Jalen Brunson and Anthony Davis. That's their dream pairing. Jalen Brunson and Anthony Davis. I don't know why.
Chicago boys.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably. Okay. Right. But they'll give you everything y'all want, man. I mean, even the young kid, the young kid they drafted this year, the one that Cooper Flag bust up and workout. Montes Buzelis.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I watched the Montes Buzelis Cooper Flag workout. Buzelis is only a little bit older than him, right? Because Buzelis is young, and Cooper Flag is a tiny bit older for his age, I think. Like, and I'm not saying he was 19 when everybody was 18. I'm saying when everybody was 18, he might have been like 18 and 4 months, just something a little bit, right? So they kind of like around the same age, right? Mm-hmm. Man, Flag was giving Montes Buzelis the.
Oh yeah, I think I seen him highlights. Yeah, but
yeah,
1-on-1 or whatever, they killing each other in the post and all that.
Yeah,
going back and forth. Yeah,
yeah. So, but so I want to thank you for the time. I know it's a weeknight and whatever, man, and man, you know how it is, man. Work schedule, life, all of that stuff. I just watched. Hey, y'all, I ain't gonna front. I just watched Cause We Geek, man. Y'all got to make sure y'all check that out, man. Next time we got to throw the link in the chat. We got to have that link prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To throw it in the chat because the conversations I was mad. As soon as I heard Daredevil name, bro, I got mad salty. I didn't even know what the topic was about. Right? I didn't even know what I was going to do. As soon as I heard Daredevil, I just got salty on the spot, bro.
Oh, bro, you know that's my dude, man. I'm a Daredevil fan, bro.
Yeah, man. Since back in the day, bro. I loved it. The only misstep is I just don't like Ben Affleck, bro. Can't Ben Affleck. Daredevil is not that size. Ben Affleck is like a NBA point guard size. Daredevil is not that size, bro. It's just all the little things, just kind of all these things. Just, but anyway, Daredevil is that joint, bro. So, can you tell everybody where they can catch you at?
Yeah, I was about to put it here in the comment section. They got me connecting and everything on here.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys can follow me here. Matter of fact, I'm putting in the comments right now. Paste it. So this is our NBA show right here, Cap and Crown, guys. I can click on that link or highlight that link and follow us over there, man. Subscribe to the channel over there. We talk about all things NBA, new and old. I'm more of the old school NBA guy. King's a little mixer of both. I'm not gonna lie. I told King I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I like the NBA today. I don't love it, and I think a lot of that has to do with how the game is covered. You know, pretty much in general, how the game is covered, how the game is talked about. Like a lot of the fans now, they're a different breed, man, than how they was back in the day when we used to talk about the NBA and stuff, man. So,
right.
But yeah, I definitely love the old school basketball. We used to talk about old school stuff a little bit more on Wednesdays, but yeah, we have shows every Monday, every Wednesday. So we have a show tomorrow, man. I don't know what the topic gonna be yet. It's gonna probably be some kind of old school debate, you know, top 5 shooting guards or something. I don't even know yet. Yeah. But let me see. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me do one more here, man. If I can find it, I'm gonna post the other one like Freezy was sitting there talking about. Cause we geeks here.
Cause we geek, yeah, man. Y'all gotta make sure y'all check that out.
Yeah, like I said, man, we growing we're growing a little something there, man. And with the Glow Sun Productions, man, we accumulated a little bit more talent. I know you saw a couple of the guys on the channel today.
Right.
So there you go, guys. I put both in the link there. Oh, that's Cap and Grind. That's wrong. Oh, that's Cause We Geeked. Okay. So yeah, we got Cause We Geeked in the comment section, and then I got Cap and Crown. That's the 2 channels that I'm on. Then we got King is on We Talk Combats. So they talk about MMA, WWE, boxing, stuff like that on that channel. So
right. I was gonna talk to King about that, man. I heard them talking about boxing when I was like, hey man, you gotta get some boxing on here, bro. Yeah,
somebody hit him up on Twitter. Was like, man, I gotta talk. I guess it was some kind of major like MMA fight that happened or something this weekend or whatever. And he was like, man, I was listening to the channel. I thought y'all were gonna talk about it, but he was saying, man, there's so much stuff going on right now with WWE, man. It's pretty much all they was covering that day or whatever. So
it's busy, bro. It's a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
it's a lot to talk about, bro. So, just want to thank everybody for coming through, rocking with us, man. We appreciate y'all. Thank you to Rel for coming through, sharing time with us, sharing his insight about what a world with Jason Kidd might look like if both sides do have mutual interest and decide to publicly flirt with each other.
Question: do you want Jason Kidd, Freezy? I should have asked you that. You said no.
No.
Okay.
My dream pick is Tyronn Lue. That's who I'd prefer. right?
I like Tyronn Lue.
And it's nothing against Jason Kidd, right? It's just more. It's just I'm more comfortable with what I've seen from Tyronn Lue than I am with what I've seen from Jason Kidd. Both of them were really good NBA point guards. Both of them have coached all-time greats, all of that stuff. And so it's less about Jason Kidd and more about how my comfort level with Tyronn Lue. That's my guy. Taylor Jenkins is another. And if I had to throw a third in there, I think it probably would be Mike Brown, because I'm like, if you're gonna get a flawed coach, you may as well get a flawed coach that has a overwhelming skill set. Like, to me, if you get Mike Brown, it's like getting Mike D'Antoni. So if you're gonna go all in, if you're gonna get a coach that's flawed, at least have him have a dominant system, right? That's my thing, right? If he can't outcoach the guy, maybe his system can beat the guy, right? Don Nelson, kind of like in that sense. So, yeah,
bro, this is the first time I think I've seen championship quality type coach like a Mike Malone be available. Say Taylor Jenkins, he didn't got the team, their best record in like the last 4 years, something like that, over there in Memphis or whatever.
Yeah,
that's a good coach. Like I got some options.
Budenholzer.
Yeah, Budenholzer's out there. I said Budenholzer wants to continue to be a coach, man. I think he probably kind of ran his course.
Yeah, that thing with his family kind of. Yeah, I kind of feel for him. Frank Vogel is out there.
Yeah,
championship winning coach with the Lakers. But it depends on your flavor. But,
hey man, bring Van Gundy back, man.
For what? so you can quit. Bring Van Gundy back on Friday, and Thursday he having a press conference. Van Gundy holds the job for 6 days.
I know you don't like Van Gundy, boy.
Man, I do not like Jeff Van Gundy, bro. I do not like Jeff Van Gundy, bro.
Oh man, boy,
yeah,
Jeff Van Gundy, man.
That's the only thing. If Tyronn Lue wants to come and he bringing Jeff Van Gundy, I prefer Jason Kidd.
Oh man,
I know that's
crazy.
petty.
Hey, bring you want to be assistant coach? No, never mind. We're gonna take this guy over here. You good? Stay over there.
Yeah, y'all just do y'all thing over there. Thank you everybody for coming through, rocking with us. We appreciate y'all spending time with us, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, we trying to get to a certain subscriber number, everybody. And if you know somebody that's looking for all types of deep, intellectual, smart conversations, Lawrence Tears is the place. If you just want to cut up, talk about culture, Lawrence Tears is the place. Make sure you click those links that Rel graciously put in the chat, man. Check my man out. Subscribe to the channels. We out here, y'all. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Dang.